Our story begins with Shi, a bushman living a quiet, joyful life in the desert with his family. His people know nothing of cars, cities, or corporations. Their world is simple: hunt, share, laugh, survive. Shi has 2 young children who are endlessly curious. One day he sets off with them across the desert plain in search of food. Along the way they come across a weak elephant print. Shi, sensing an elephant in distress, tells his children to return to the village while he tracks the animal to help it. On their way home, the children discover a strange track they've never seen before. They follow it and come across a poacher's trailer hauling a large tank of water. Having never seen that much water before, living as they do in one of the driest places on Earth, they climb aboard out of curiosity to taste the precious liquid. Unaware of the stowaways, the pilot takes off, unintentionally flying them hundreds of kilometers away. Meanwhile, Dr. Ann Taylor, a corporate lawyer from New York, is already in Africa, attending a legal conference near a safari reserve. During a break between panels, she meets Jack, a charming zoologist who offers to take her on a private safari tour. At first, she declines, but Jack persuades her with the promise of an aerial view from his 2-seater plane, far quicker and more exciting than the 3-hour bus ride planned by the conference organizers. As they fly over the safari, they later land briefly, where another zoologist, Dr. Stephen Marshall, arrives in a camouflaged vehicle. Stephen is urgently asked over the radio to take Jack's plane back to the conference to deliver a baby giraffe in need of care. Jack stays behind, and Stephen takes the controls. Shortly after takeoff, they receive a storm warning. Stephen and Anne increase altitude to avoid turbulence, but this causes them to burn through fuel faster. In desperation, Stephen pours whiskey into the engine to keep it running. It works temporarily, but they run out of fuel again and crash into a tree. Now stranded, Anne and Stephen, complete opposites, must survive together. She's terrified of nature, he thrives in it. As they trek across the desert, dodging wild animals and sleeping under the stars, their mutual annoyance slowly turns to affection. Amid the chaos of fixing the plane and trying to escape the desert, romance quietly blooms. Meanwhile, a regional war simmers nearby. 2 enemy soldiers, one African, the other Cuban, find themselves lost in the desert. One captures the other, treating him as a prisoner of war. She encounters them while tracking his children, but, not understanding their hostility, leaves them alone and continues his search. Back on the poacher's truck, the older of Shi's sons tries to pick fruit from a tree and accidentally falls from the moving vehicle, leaving the younger child alone. The poachers, armed and ruthless, are attempting to escape across the border with a truckload of ivory. They'll harm anyone in their way. Stephen and Anne eventually manage to get the plane flying again, but the liftoff is rough, and Stephen is left behind. Anne, flying solo, crashes into another tree. She survives, chases away a curious cheetah, and trades for a bike from a local village to return to Stephen, but is left behind once again by the guide. As Stephen struggles alone in the heat, tormented by a badger he accidentally provoked, Anne is mewed by baboons while trying to drink and bathe at a well. Elsewhere, the African and Cuban soldiers begin tricking each other to gain control of a military vehicle. When Anne finds their tracks, she eventually meets C, who she fears at first, but then learns to trust. She takes her to the soldiers. The Cuban soldier takes Anne hostage to gain the upper hand, and she, not understanding the tension, bids her goodbye and continues searching for his children. Stephen, now immobilized by a scorpion sting, is later found and rescued by Shi, who buries him in the sand to prevent dehydration. Meanwhile, the poachers realize they've been driving in the wrong direction. They stop the truck, and Shi's youngest child finally escapes, running back home. The poachers reverse course and come across the older child, who now must decide whether to follow the truck or search for his brother. Shi eventually reunites with Anne and the soldiers, then leads them to Stephen. After tending to Stephen, Anne keeps watch over the captured soldiers. Shi then finds the poacher's truck. He climbs aboard but is thrown off when they realize he has seen their illegal cargo. They try to eliminate him as a witness by tying Shi up, throwing him into the trunk. As fate would have it, all paths converge. Shi, the poachers, the soldiers, and Anne and Stephen all meet on a desert track. Shi tries to escape by jumping out of the truck. Anne, trying to help him, is taken hostage. Stephen rushes to defend her, but is also captured. Meanwhile, She's oldest child finds his younger brother in the mountains and saves him from a stalking hyena, using a trick their father taught them, appearing taller to scare it away. Back at the poacher's scene, one of the smugglers accidentally shoots himself in the leg, while the other try to get a radio signal driving up the mountain. Seizing the moment, Stephen and Anne fight back to save themselves and the injured smuggler, who confesses he'll be killed if they abandon him. The head poacher tries to trap them by setting the savannah ablaze, but she uses his knowledge of nature. Animals will flee fire. The blaze is turned into a trap. The poacher hides on the water tank and tries to shoot them again, but Stephen corners him. The soldiers, now at peace with each other, help Stephen and Anne get airborne. The poacher is arrested. Back at the conference, a search party eagerly awaits their arrival. The crowd is stunned as Anne and Stephen land, with Anne nearly falling from the plane in the final moment. They kiss at last. Meanwhile, she finds his children and, with a deep breath of relief. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to encourage us to create more content.